Hey guys, welcome back to our second edition of 52 Drinks, 52 Weeks. Thanks a lot for your overwhelming response and comments on the first video. Much like us guys, you guys keep up the good work. Today for this edition, we guys are moving away from wines and moving towards whiskies. And talking about whiskies, we're talking about our favorite, which is the Islay Malt. Now, Islay is a small little island on the western coast of Scotland, which is barely a size of 25 kilometers by 40 kilometers. It is believed that in the early 14th century, Irish monks traveled to the island in the hope of creating beautiful whiskies. Now, the island was very fertile to grow barley. It had unhindered sources of pure water and it was blessed with clean air. But more importantly, they also found a very unique style of fuel, which was neither wood nor coal, but something called peat. Now, peat is nothing but compressed vegetation, which is a mix of grass, wood, moss, ferns, and shrubs. They are compressed under oxygen-starved, waterlogged, very cold climates. And to create about 1 millimeter of peat, it takes about a year. So think about a slab of about a meter takes 1,000 years. You're moving back into history, right? Now, how do whiskies become smoky? Once the peat is harvested, we cut them into small bricks and dry them. And when we burn them under perforated plates over which germinating barley is kept to dehydrate them, the smoke that emerges out of the peat goes and sits inside the grain. And it continues to give this character of smokiness beyond fermentation and even distillation. And that is how Islay malts become smoky. Not all Islay malts are smoky, but this is the general idea of whiskies coming from the island. And talking about non-smoky whiskies, we have the Bruichladdich, which is from the north of the island. Now, this is a unique proposition because Bruichladdich is basically an Islay whiskey, but it is completely non-smoky. The conundrum is that Bruichladdich also makes the most smoky Islay whiskey on the planet, which is called Ockmore. Now, this one is much like any Scotch whiskey. It is fruity and shows a little bit of oiliness as well. Moving to the middle of the island, we have Bowmore, and this is primarily fruity, floral, citrus, and a little oily, but at the back of it comes a kiss of smokiness which retains the idea that you're drinking an Islay malt. And coming to the south of the island, we have Laphroaig, which is a love it or leave it style of Islay whiskey. If you do not like smokiness, you will not like Laphroaig. And if you do not like smokiness, leave the dram for somebody who can appreciate it. Right? Now, what to expect from a whiskey which has the influence of peat on it? Ideally, peat provides you flavors, a little medicinal flavor like iodine, seaweed, a little bit of saltiness and minerality. But the good thing is, if you like bacon, it even gives you flavors of caramelized, smoky, charred bacon fat. So how does a Islay malt taste? So today, just for this practice, we guys have picked up randomly one of the whiskies amongst these three. So let's go ahead and taste it. So the first thing first is the side of the whiskey itself, which is a little more than deep golden. It has a little bit of a copperish tinge to it as well, which probably comes from prolonged barrel aging. On the nose, the aromas jump out of the whiskey very easily. Yes, the first hint that we were any which way expecting was the smokiness that comes from the peat, which is a unique proposition in these whiskies. But it is not just all smoke. There is a lot of fruitiness, a little bit of yellow floral character. The citrus that we were talking about is there. And also, I am suspecting a little bit of savory aromas in it as well. So let's go ahead and taste it. Right. If for once we forget that there is smokiness in this whiskey and try and see beyond that, there is ample tropical fruity characters in this. There is a little bit of sweet citrus character of orange and mandarin in it. And what is even more impressive is the long tail of savoriness of vegetative characters, a little bit of mushroom, forest floors, cedar, smoky and spicy oak as well. And yes, the smokiness retains itself towards the back. The alcohol is rather smooth. This is about 40-42% alcohol, right? Which can burn sometimes. So rather than putting water or soda or ice into your whiskey, it'll be better to chill the entire bottle before you drink it and just drink it neat rather than bring down these complex flavors by diluting it. There is a big concern in the market. A lot of news were released that probably we will soon run out of peat. If peat is basically compressed earth and we are depleting it to make more and more iron malts, chances are we will run out of peat. So the good news is the latest Scottish National Heritage Census says that about 23% of all of Scotland is basically peat, right? So we're not running out of peat anytime soon. And even if Scotland runs out of it, there are other countries where peat can be found, including India. And you know India is making their own share of smoky whiskies through Paul John and Amrut and even other producers, right? So the world is not running out of peat. We guys are not running out of ideas for our next video. However, it will be good to learn what you want to see in the future videos. So till next week, cheers.